I'm gonna be trying to do this in one take, so I'll probably make some little mistakes, but yeah, nah. First you want to go into Photoshop. You just make a new document. I choose 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels because it's easy to split it into 5 by 5 because each little GIF would be 200 by 200. So you'll have your background, make a new layer, and you just get some assets that you'll be using. When choosing stuff like GIFs for something like this though, you don't want to use like really wide stuff because you'll have to be like compressing it down to like a square since each of the boxes are the same size. So I found stuff that was either 500 by 500 or kind of close that could be cropped out to look like a square. And even or the way I like looked for stuff like this was I went to Google Images, I selected tools, and I went to animated. There are like I guess different places you can find GIFs, but I don't really just use anything else. You save all of your assets into like a folder though. I'm not naming these because I'm just going to delete them right afterwards. Uh, yeah, this will be the last one. And basically you'll open each of them by themselves inside of this. Uh, desktop, test. You can hit control click to select them all like that. But basically you want to just make it to where you click on the first one down here. Actually, even before then, I'm gonna open the timeline is like the premier thing for like GIFs because it's like each of the individual frames of a GIF. And I don't really like to view it in this kind of mode. I usually make this into a video timeline. So it'll usually play faster and you can do little things like keyframing, but I'm not going to talk about that. Um, let's see. After that though, you just click on the bottom one, you shift click to where it selects all, and I just put it into a little folder so that it's nice and not as many different like little things here. I copy, create a video timeline here, and I paste. I delete the background because I don't really need it. And I hit Control T. Well, actually, even before I do that, it's easier to just do it this way as well. I go to canvas size, change that to pixels, and just do 200 by 200. Some clipping will occur, but don't really worry about that. And if it's actually standard size and if it looks good down, just down stretched or whatever, you could just hit Control T and then drag the corners to each of the little corners of the frame. And then you can just copy and paste it in there like just how it is. Just oh, you have to click the actual like folder and you can just Control T it to just a corner. And this is just 1/5 because it's 200 by 200. So you just get 5 of these. You just line them up like that. And then let me just delete the background layer. And then you'll just keep on doing it per row. But the only difficult thing about this is making sure the GIFs sync up together or making sure they all end at the same time. It could be seen like here. Let's make another video and then put that into a group. And oh wait, no, forgot to do that again. This time I'll just be like clipping it to a square first. You use the cropping tool. You just kind of drag it down to like a square size though. Let's make it a little bit bigger. But then you'll have, oh, what the fuck? I think this is just a bad, yeah. There are like GIFs that you could download on the internet that just kind of just do this. If that happens to you, just get a different asset. I don't know. I think it's something with how the way they recorded it. Like guess I didn't even expect that to happen, but it's not a bad thing to show. You can just use the cropping tool again. You get like a perfect square by setting it to square here. And then crop. And then you can convert it to a video timeline and just do the same thing. The thing is though, these are both just different. Oh, the fuck. Control V. Oh, and yeah, the way you move it from one to the other is you Control C and then Control V. You click here and then you can just scale it down. Actually, I even put it over this, so you don't have to like keep on doing the cropping thing that you did with the first one. And they'll do the little pink line things where they match up. You can just hit Control T and just move it over to the next little spot. And then once you have 5, it should fill up to the full top layer. But the little thing that comes in with these is what do you do for the time that's it's split between like right here. Before I'll even like fuck with that, I usually just get all 25 GIFs in here and find out which one's the longest one that I have to sync them all up to. Because if you do it like right now, it would be it would just be kind of annoying to keep on having to adjust it, especially for each individual one. So I'm just gonna open up my final folder or my final one. I think that's my hard drive. I'm just gonna delete this though, because this doesn't really matter. Desktop. Oh no, it's hard drive. I'll do characters. The thing about this though that kind of sucks though is it takes up a lot of space and a lot of like RAM, so it's not really easy to do on like computers that don't have much processing power. And it's probably easier to do if you like kept on exporting it and like reworking over so you didn't have as many assets to like load at the same time. But like this is just the easier way for me because my computer is fairly good at just running stuff like Photoshop. But here, there's like a lot of just different workarounds I had to do for each individual one. There's probably easier ways to do this, but I'm just a lazy piece of shit. I just like doing it like this. But my longest one was, I think it ended up being, is it this? No. Or the longest one that I sunk it to was pretty sure this, which this is the Shimada one at the top. I chose this as just the reference point. So each of these other individual like GIFs in here is referencing off of that one. So if I go to like this, I made the Kumin one right here. I just basically like made it go twice over to where I had like a good stopping point to where I could start again. But then there comes like problems like ones that don't fit as well, like right here. This is the Natsuki one right here. So like in the space between, I just put like a still picture up on a different layer. I'm guessing it's probably this one. Yeah. I put it like here and then I put the still picture at the end too. So it would like just space better and it would loop all together with the other ones. Other ones, like it did fit pretty well. Like a lot of the ones that have like 6, it just kind of sunk together pretty well. Like I think this one's the Mugi one right there. Since she doesn't do like much and like it doesn't change much, it just sunk together really well. Is there any other? Where's the Ryuji one? Layer 888 or 877. For this one, like I even just had the original GIF run and then I just put a still picture at the end because it would have looked weird otherwise. I don't know. Each individual way though, like you just have to find your own workaround to it. But that's basically all of what I did for that. And then I exported it as a video instead of a .gif file because .gif files can't really take this many colors. They can only have 256 different colors in them. And that's why like GIF files are kind of like a shitty format to use. But like for the most part, I still use it for a lot of them because it doesn't really affect many unless it's like trying to incorporate a lot of different colors at the same time. So I just rendered it as video. I think this is all right. You got to choose a document size instead of a preset size. And then I just saved it as an MP4 to my desktop. Let's just do 1, 2. Then I went to Imgur and just uploaded it there. You can see the new one there. So it does take a little bit sometimes to upload these because videos on Imgur just take a little bit more time to optimize. But once it's uploaded, it's just fine. Nothing wrong with it. And you can just click here, MP4, and then like it'll even like just translate it to a GIF, which is like the file I usually post. Because I think if you post it as an MP4, it just changes anyways. Yeah, there's just not much around that. Or I don't think it's really like a problem or anything either though. But I think that's most of the basics of what I did. I don't think there's much else to it. That being said, like this is something that does take a lot of like RAM to run, and like a few times it has like quit out of my computer even to where like I had to restart because I didn't save. This is something like if you do something like this, or if you're able to, you have to just save as much as possible. But I think that's mainly it. There's not much else to it. Let's see, where is OBS?